All right, well, today we are going to talk about seeing the unseen. How many of you guys would be so excited to be able to see in the energy what it is that you may not be able to see with your regular human eyes, but is definitely there? Would that be fun? To open up your magical eyes, your ability to see the magic and the mysteries of the universe? Yes, okay, that sounds good to me too. All right, so let's take a breath together. Just breathing yourself into this moment. Good, and taking another breath, just breathing yourself into this beautiful present moment. Because one of the keys to being able to connect with the unseen and to be able to see through the illusion is being present. So again, and go ahead and say, I now call all of myselves back into this moment, clean and clear and aligned with Source. Good. And breathing all of you back into your body, back into you. Good. And bring your directional awareness up, 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 and take a breath. Breathing all that love and light from above, down through your crown and through your body, inviting in, the divinity, inviting in the unseen, inviting Source and the angels into your experience. Good. And expanding your heart even bigger and wider, and even bigger and wider into all of that love. Taking a breath, breathing that in. Ah, that's beautiful. Yes, yes. So some keys to being able to be in touch with the unseen. Okay, so number one, being present. Okay, and present may have a lot of different definitions depending on how you sense it within yourself. Basically what it is it's pulling all your energy out of all the distractions to be just purely in energy. So take a breath and breathe that in and go and say, I get it. Being present is being fully in the energy of now. Oh, isn't that nice? So we take it out of time and into energy. Go ahead and say, I now ask that all of me that is trapped in some form of time now come back to the energy of here and now. Breathing that in, and just letting that come into your system. Good. Now the next thing is it's really important to not let your mind or ego interpret the magic. Okay, very, very important to not let the mind or ego discount it or say that didn't happen or say that wasn't possible. How many of you guys have experienced something really quite wonderful in your life? Like, you got a sense that there was a being that had passed over that had come to you, or maybe you got a sense that there were fairies or devas on your property, or maybe you got a sense that an angel had come to your bed, right? So in those moments when those kind of things happen, you don't want to let your mind say, oh, well, that's just make-believe, or that's not really happening, or I'm sure there's a logical explanation for this. Does that make sense? Okay, so take a breath and go and say, I now ask that all the ridiculous logical explanations that I have allowed my mind or ego to tell me about the magic that Source is now be removed. Good. Taking a breath. Just feeling all of that energy clear. Good. Now everything is truly infinite. Okay. Everything is the infinite possibility of Source. So it's all possible and it's all happening. So truly, if you can imagine it, it does exist. It is somewhere, right? Science tells us that there's infinite versions of Earth, infinite versions of every dimension, infinite versions of you. So what if it was more about choosing where you choose to live in the field of magic instead of choosing to live in the logical, mundane, world of the mind and ego that quantifies all the magic. Okay, so go ahead and say, I choose to live in magic. I choose to live in the dimension of magic. And one more time, I choose to live in the dimension of magic. That's it. Woo! Yeah, okay, so we're going to be present, aren't we? Right? Present in energy, not in time, but present in the energy of now. Yeah? Okay, we're also going to not let the mind quantify and say, oh, this is what didn't happen. As magic does show up. Now, there's one other element that I want to talk to you guys about before we go today, and that is getting connected to the other senses that you have. Okay, so science tells us that we actually, with regular human senses, the way that most of the world perceives, can only perceive about 4% of the energy. We use our sight, our smell, our ears, our senses to sense things. Well, that's only 4% of what's happening energetically. So there's 96%, okay, of information that is here right now in the energy that your senses don't know how to even receive. So how do we get in touch with that? Does that make sense? Okay, so the first off is really opening your heart, okay? Because all of God in the universe wants to know that it's a yes for you to be present with the 96%, to start being in communication with what is unseen, right? So if your heart is open and you are in love and you are in yes, right? Your heart is open and you're like in this yes, yes, yes. That's an opening for the universe and the 96% to know, they're open. Okay, let's bring some information in. And it's important to realize as well is that you're going to sense it all in a different way. Some of you guys might smell the presence of Mother Mary. Some of you guys might hear the fairies. Some of you guys might see the fairies' auras or see the auras of energy, right? Some of you guys just might get this sense of a knowing of a presence. So would you allow yourself to be aware of the unseen in the way that you are aware of the unseen? Yes? Okay, so take a breath. And go ahead and say, yes, I accept. To be aware of the magical unseen in the way that I am aware of it. Okay, and how we kind of go on that discovery is by opening up to asking questions, right? Wow, I wonder what I'm aware of here. I wonder what's here that I can't see. Universe, would you be willing to make the invisible visible for me in some way? Right? And you can evoke these different beings. I now invoke the fairies, the devas, the beings that are in that unseen world to be in my presence, right? And with an open heart and a yes, you can begin communicating and asking them questions. You can begin gifting to them. You can begin leaving them offerings. You can begin to to start a relationship with this 96% of infinite possibilities. Right? This magic that is waiting for you to attune your ability to connect with it. Yeah, so take a breath and just breathe that in, that you're unique, you're going to connect in your own way, right? And that you have an open heart, and a yes, so that the universe knows, yes, it's a yes. And that you've honed your ability to be curious instead of logical and conclusive, right? I wonder what this feels like. I wonder how they could get in touch with me, right? I wonder if I am sensing it or seeing it or knowing it or feeling it, right? Just constantly being in that question. The question opens the door for those magical infinite possibilities to show up, for the unseen to become seen through your experience. So let's do one statement here before we go. During our weekly angelic uplift that we're going to be doing here on Facebook every week. So excited, you guys. Okay, so go ahead and bring your awareness up. Go and say, in the name of Source and all that is light, by the law of divine grace, I state your name. Now ask that the unseen become seen through me. Take a breath and breathe that in. I now ask that the invisible become visible through me. There you go. Taking a breath, breathing that in. Thank you, Source. Thank you, angels. Thank you, universe. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay, so what were those 4 things? Open heart. You got that? Okay, being present in the energy. You got that? Good. Being in question instead of conclusion. Never allowing your mind to go, oh, this didn't happen. This was make-believe. Yeah? Does that make sense? Oh, it's so beautiful, you guys. And being in that beautiful curious space where you continue to open up to that field of magic and infinite possibility. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys so much. Bye, everyone.